seems like the group has really settled into the season here. Do you feel like you guys are kind of past the point of thinking about injuries, who's in, who's out, and you guys are just kind of into the season now?
Yeah, we tried to move past that as quickly as possible. I mean, and it's just about, I don't think they were hung up on it. I just think that you got to figure out ways to try and win hockey games without the guys that weren't available, right? So that's the bigger challenge than putting it out of your head on who's playing. I think they show up game night, jerseys are hanging in the stalls, they know what the lineup is prior to that even, and it's focused on what they need to do. It doesn't make the job any easier.
Coach, it's a big night for you personally. Congratulations ahead of it, but any thoughts on just the longevity and the impact you made here?
What's the milestone?
Just a couple of Colorado coaching games.
Okay. Yeah. No. Sorry. I have no idea. Yeah. Yeah, so no thoughts really. I hadn't thought about it. Didn't even know about it.
Well, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah.
In between these last two games, you've kind of swapped Middlesex and Kelly like mid-game. So is it a matter of just kind of seeing how the game's going, how those lines are working, or what is kind of the thought process going into it?
Well, it's twofold. Like if I want a really trusted defensive line, then I try to put Kelly with OC and Kivy. And I think the other guys have done a nice job helping create offense. So if I'm they can go with Midi, who's obviously a creative guy, and like to see some offensive spark out of those guys. So just depending on how the other team's lines shape up, how we sort of match up, and what I see in the numbers from both those lines, like creating offense and suppressing offense on the other end. I like to see them a little bit with both, but that's why we've been kind of flipping them mid-game.
Have Ivan and Kovalenko done enough to stay when the lineup is full?
Yeah. I mean, I like the way both those guys are playing. I like the way all of our call-up guys are playing. They all have like different strengths and weaknesses. Like if you're looking at offensive side of it, Kove's done a nice job helping create offense on some nights. I think there's a consistency that needs to improve, and Ivan's kind of done the same, not as frequently, but like his suppression of scoring chances is elite so far in the entire league. Like he was number one in the league for a long time. He's played a significant amount of minutes. I think he sits at number 2 in the league right now. So really responsible checking forward. So, and you can go through Tynan and Wagner the same way. And even Prish. Like there's some decisions to be made there, but we got to map out, like when these guys come back, which could be as early as Friday, we have to map out what our power plays look like, what our penalty kill looks like, and then that also has a big factor in, and how we would want to set up our lines, and then that has a big factor on who stays.
Coach, you going with Hugh again tonight?
Yes.
Kovalenko took a puck out there, is he going to be good?
Yeah, he'll be good.
Did you get a chance to talk to Darcy this morning?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen him yet.
What do you remember about his time here? I know it was short, but
I remember that we won the Stanley Cup, and he was our goalie, which was awesome. That's the main thing I remember. Yeah, I said this before. I got a soft spot for all those guys. We're connected forever in that moment, and it's great to see those guys that have come back. And it wasn't here a long time, but he obviously made a huge impact, and every single one of those guys did. And it's something I'll never forget. So,
I guess while we're going down memory lane, EJ's at 998.
I read this yesterday.
Yeah. Just, is it possible to sum up like what he did here?
Well, no. I mean, he was here long before I was, right? But again, for me, he falls into that same category. Had ups and downs with injuries for a few years while I was here, and the longest tenured Av right on the team in 2022, and just seeing the joy in his face, and Landy and guys that have been friends for a long time, long before I was here, to see him finally get rewarded for all the work they put into the team organization, and going through some tough times there, like my first year, like all those guys that were here my first year, to see them get rewarded in 2022 is the best feeling.
Last one.
Do you have any quintessential EJ stories you can share with us?
No. I'm sure the guys will have lots.